Yeah, what's good? Welcome back to the OTT channel with an OTT review. You can call me Turrell and Lorna Shore. You in the scope. Welcome back to the channel where we play games, review music, and have a good time. If you enjoyed yourself for the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate catch every video when it goes live. Lorna Shore are back after the face-tingling, mind-melting, body-spasming song Prisoner Flesh. We're black. We're black. We're back with Glenwood. Now, I've seen little snippets, or not even snippets, just people saying this is more of a beautiful storytell. So I'm excited to see what they've got. It's a very long song, 9 minutes and 24. I'm sure obviously it's going to be partial to, like, you know, part of the story. I don't think it's actually going to be a 9-minute song per se. I think obviously there's going to be part of the film clip as part of this. But yeah, it's obviously going to be an emotional storytell. And in relation to obviously Prisoner Flesh, where the song itself was very harsh, but then you actually look back at what it meant, and it being the very real effects of dementia and how heavy it is and how bad it can be in the reality twisting effects of it. So, you know, this is a pretty heavy album in the sense of like a emotional standpoint. So I'm sure this is going to be a pretty emotional song. So I gotta gear up. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be beautiful and sad and all sorts, but no delays. Let's get right into this. Can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back to how it used to be? Can we go back? You have to be the same for me. Oh man, this could be an emotional one. I hate it. I hate it. Like, I love it, but I hate it. You bring a kid into things. Now, if you've been on the channel before, I am a father. I'm a father. I have a 3-year-old. I'm married. I'm in a happy marriage. There is still times where arguments happen, you know, and there are disagreements, and there are times where, you know, that you won't have like the perfect every day, you know. And when you see this kind of stuff where the arguments are just in the middle space and the kid, it's traumatic. It's incredibly traumatic. It never should be the case. There is a way to do it where if you need to voice your differences and communicate, if it's going to be, you know, escalated, move it away from the child. I know that's so hard to do, especially, again, I'm a father. I understand that the children will follow you. They'll go wherever you want. But then turn around and go, hey, baby goes to bed, you know, child goes to bed. We'll talk about this later. And also, shouting matches are not the best way of communicating. Because that's what when you get into a shouting, screaming match, you know that there is emotional fuel and emotional fuel takes away regulation and logic. You cannot win arguments with logic. You will never be able to properly have a discussion and find an ending to a situation where emotion is fueling your arguments. So it's that time, and just like, again, it's only going to negatively affect the child. Like, there is no good example of a shouting match. Oh man, and that scares me. It scares me as well, because it's so hard when you're in that state to be like, I need to logically pull myself out of this, not only for the sake of the argument, but for the sake of the child as well. And you want to keep going, and it will create traumas, and it will create, lasting effects on the children, because they will follow in those steps. I think shouting matches are okay, and it's okay to argue, but not only that, they're seeing the two people that unconditionally love you, that are supposed to unconditionally love each other, in a point of what they can only perceive as hating each other, and it's so traumatic. I feel so bad for like that kid in this film clip, but I'm guessing this is somewhat going to be a representation of Will's growing up, and the fact that the song like take me back, take us back, like, just where it was like, where I didn't understand that, what was happening, and where I didn't feel like my parents hated each other, and where everything was okay. This could be a rough one. Gotta hold back some tears. Let's go. One other thing I wanted to bring up in there, and it's the like the extended meaning of the terminology "a broken home," because we see that as, the broken home because the relationship is broken and the two homes are divided. But it's not only that, and it very was well represented in where, young Will put the sandwich in front of his father. The father didn't say anything, didn't break eye contact with, like, obviously this spaced out world that he was in, drinking his coffee. The broken home is not only the split of like the household, but it's also the broken parts that are left behind. The broken father, the father that will always spend like a good 80% of his quiet time reflecting on mistakes that have been made, the arguments that are had, how could he have fixed it? Because it's all about hindsight. It's already happened. What could I do? What if I did this? What if I did? And it's like, you can't. It's not going to fix anything. Like, you can try to explain that, like, I should have done this, and hope that fixes it. But, you got to sit there and reflect on that. And that leaves a broken father. And then the mother, would be going through the same things. And then the child is ultimately going to take the biggest hit from that, because they don't understand that. And then they're now living in broken households. And they're reliant on working parents, and I mean like mentally working, physically working, like parents that are actually able to parent. But when you're already fighting your own demon of like, I'm broken because I had to split with my partner, and I'm going to be constantly reflecting on that, you don't have the capacity to also be an 100% parent. And it is that broken. Like, you are not broken, but you have been broke. And it's a whole, it's a lot to dive into. And just seeing the kid running after the mom, the split, like, I don't ever wish that upon any child. I truly believe if there is a split in parents on in the age of a young child, they need to co-parent in the same household and give the best effort to raise the child to an age where then they can understand what it means for the parents to split, then do their thing. Like, they could be a split relationship, but they need a co-parent in the same household and maturely come forth being like, we are mum and dad, and we'll always be mum and dad. We are not going to be mum and dad together, but we will always be mum and dad. And then when at a mature age, be like, we are not in a relationship anymore, and that's when you can split and do your own things. Because at the end of the day, you do obviously have to take care of yourself, but when you bring a child into the world, that is your responsibility. That comes before anything, because you can function without 100% of your own ability. Like, you can go to work with 50% energy and 50% brain power, but you cannot parent on without 100%. And that child requires you to be at 100%. So, yeah. Tangent. Let's keep going. Are we too far gone from where we began? Come on.
We've been lost in the wrong moment.
Take me home. This pain is all I know. Oh, man. Will. I'm just going to keep going. let me break this down. Like, this is a tough song. It's a beautiful song. It's a very beautiful song. It's emotional, and it's so real. It really is so real, because there are a lot of things in the world which are tragic, but we don't appreciate the tragedy that is a broken household, and what the effects of what that does. Like we saw there, obviously, delving into addiction and, trying things that, like, I don't have anything against trying things. I think you only get one life to really experience things. So, try what is safe and, do it within the safe realms. But, you start doing it rebelliously, not even for the sensation, but just to rebel in itself. And that can obviously lead to some really dire consequences. I have a somewhat similar story to this one. It goes a bit more dark, and leads to a lot of the very similar things. So I know this a lot. I know this tragically a lot, unfortunately. And a few things that like come to mind is, like, living a life requires one person. Like, you can go your life from maturity to your death with only the necessity of yourself, really. But as a child, you need two parents. You do. To effectively have the best chance at living a normal and untraumatic life at the best of ability. Like, you're always going to face tragedy and trauma. Like, people are going to die. Get used to it. People are going to die in your life because no one's immortal and people are much older than you. So you're going to face death. But the natural traumas of life, like, death, tragedy, injury, pain, all that sort of stuff, like the natural things that you're destined to experience, like, that's the normality of trauma. But things like drug abuse, addiction, suicide, all of these things, these unnatural traumas, the best way to avoid it on a controllable level, because you can't obviously control the uncontrollables, but the best chance to obviously protect yourself is to have two parents working in unison, even if they're not together, but at least just two parents that work in unison and give you the best opportunity to have a unbroken upbringing, because it is the upbringing where things get broken. You don't go into adult life being like, oh, well, nothing of the last 18 years has turned into created my character. Your character was created in those first 18 to 21 years, depending on who you are. And the best way to avoid like toxic or broken character traits is to have two successful, and when I say successful, as in competent and positive influences, which is your parents or guardians. If your parents go, guardians. But there always needs to be two, because there's two realms. There's physical and there's mental. And there's no gender role applicable to that. You need someone that's going to be better at providing you emotional growth, and one that's going to provide you physical growth. One that's going to set you rules, or one that's going to help you with freedom. And then vice versa, they're going to help you with like understanding the compounds of rules and how to not just walk the line, but follow rules while being unique and an individual. And the same with freedom, where it's just like, you got to be who you are, but there are good and bad decisions. So it takes two. It always takes two. You can have a good life with one, but that will be that is hard, because that also puts a lot of pressure on that single person. So yeah, this song hits hard and it hits home, and it also scares me again, because I'm a parent, and every single day I question whether I'm getting it right or wrong. And that's just from the individual level. And luckily enough, I am very fortunate that I am married. I have a beautiful wife. She is outstanding, and she's a fantastic mother, and she supports me and I support her, and we are a great team when it comes to just life in general, but also parenting. But it doesn't mean we don't ever fear that we're getting things wrong, because you always do. I actually had a chat with her the other day, and I was saying it's very hard when you don't know if you're getting it right. It's not like, you know, you're doing a puzzle and you do the puzzle right and you get that ding, you did it right, good job, next level. You don't get any gratification, like not a lot. You get like I love yous and cuddles and all that sort of stuff, and that makes you feel like, yeah, my child loves me. But like, you know, you teach them how to eat food and like, you know, what's good dieting and all that sort of stuff, and they don't want to eat, and then like you try something new and you won't get that gratification right up front that they're going to be, you know, that's going to be a new habit that they like pick up food, like eating food from there. You'll find that out in 8 weeks. So you'll try 7 different things, and then you know which one. It's hard. If parenting is hard, but it requires two. And just seeing things like this where, you know, the parents split, you know, then, you know, there's this resentment to one parent, and then, you know, the rebel, and then the I can take care of myself. It's very real, and it's terrifying. It really is terrifying, because it can turn you 2 different ways. Like, you can be the one that rebels and wants to be better, or rebels and doesn't care, and it's scary. But this was a beautiful storytell. The song itself is amazing. The lyrics were fantastic. A few like real like kick you in the gut lyrics in there that just, you know, resonate, and they're deep. Like, you feel those lyrics as they hit you, and you're like, oh. So yeah, but beautiful. And if this is the story, I'm guessing it is, because obviously we're about to have, when on the extended version of this, we're about to have obviously the you know, the chat between Will and his father. I'm so sorry. Like, that's a tough upbringing. It really is. And I feel bad for Will, and my condolences to him, and hope that, you know, he's obviously made a life out of it, but I hope he has found a life in which he still can love and appreciate his parents, because you can build a complete resentment and a disregard for your parents. Like, I don't talk to my mother at all, and unfortunately my father had killed himself, so I don't have parents anymore. I have one that's living that is just an absolute scumbag that I'll never talk to again, and then one that is obviously beyond us. So, you know, I really do hope for Will's side, obviously, that there is still a love and ability to have parents, because once it's gone, it is tough. Even though I'd never wish to speak to my mother again, it is tough to not have a parent. So, Lorna, look, I'm not going to call this a banger. I'm just going to say thank you so much for what a beautiful experience we've had. And thank you guys for being here. If you enjoy yourself, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get notified every time we drop something brand new. We also stream on YouTube and on Twitch every Friday, 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. We play games, we listen to music, we smash out D&D, we get together as a community and have a good time. Come check that out. Plus, there's a Discord link below where you can get to know the community, see all the social posts, the giveaways, everything in between, as well as, you know, meet the people that are behind the scenes, and also come chat with me. Come check that as well. Otherwise, comment down below what to see you next. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, love, peace, and burgers.